Hey guys, I'm putting together this video here for anyone who's interested in what I typically take out on a weekend to 5-day hiking trip, camping trip into the mountains of BC. So everything you see here is if I was going to go by myself. Not much would change really if I went with another person. The only thing that would change would of course be more food, and maybe depending on number of days how many pairs of socks I bring. But everything you see here is for a solo trip. It all fits into my bag, and everything you see here is packed and ready to go. So I'll go through each individual item, and we'll start with the bag here. So I've got an Arc'teryx Bora 80 bag. It's a really good bag. I got it at the outlet store, which enables me to actually afford the Arc'teryx brand. It's really expensive, but in the weather that BC throws at you, I wanted to have good pack and know that my stuff's going to be dry when I get to my campsite. So I got the 80 liter. This holds my old bag was about 70 liters, and I found with winter camping it was always a little bit too full and I'd have to strap things on the outside, so I went with 10 more liters, and hopefully that will be able to get me through it. And I didn't want to go any bigger than that because I don't want to carry any more than that. So all this stuff fits into this bag, and then I guess let's move over to the tent. So I've got a Tarn 3 tent here from Mech. It's been a great tent. I've had it for about 9 years, and it's held up through everything that I could throw at it, through tree planting, music festivals, drunk people at music festivals that trip on guidelines and fall into it and think that I was gonna need a new tent, and miraculously it's still kicking. I'm gonna be trying to replace this one in the next year and go with something lighter. It was a great tent for Ontario, but weighs at about 7 pounds, and now when you're hiking up over here in BC and going up mountains, you want to be as light as possible. So I'm going to go with, I think, the Hubba Hubba series that MSR puts out, and it weighs in at about 4 pounds. So that'll be nice to get that weight off my back. Next here I've got my sleeping bag. This is a bag from Mech. It's rated to about 0, but it's a little bit old, so it's probably around a +3. I also have a Mech -12 bag, and that I take out in winter conditions. I also have a silk liner that I can throw into either bag when I think it's going to be just a little bit cooler, and that scrunches up about into the ball of your hand, and you can just throw that in the stuff sack. The stuff sack's from Outdoor Research. It's about 15 bucks. It's amazing how small you can get stuff with it, and you can just throw the liner in there and you won't even really notice. It's not much extra weight. Next we've got the Thermarest Pro Light small series for guys. I went with the small instead of the large because you can get it so small. It's not much bigger. It's smaller than a shoe. So it's pretty amazing, and really in the summer you don't need much more than just covering your from your head to your waist. In winter you're going to want to have your full body covered, just in case any dew come from snow gets through your tent, any meltage, that you just get one of those blue foam pads and throw that down there and get a full length one, and that would help you out. So went with the small light one, and it's held up great so far. And next I've got my toiletry kit. I've just used the Adventure Towel bag, and I've got a sunscreen, a little thing of deodorant, toothpaste, my toothbrush, and some biodegradable organic soap. I also bring camp suds with me, which I use to wash the dishes, and you can use it to wash your hair, but I like something a little bit nicer than the camp suds. It's pretty much like washing yourself with dishwashing detergent, and it's not the greatest. It's really hard to get out of your hair. So yeah, bring that along. And then I keep this at the top of my bag as well, so it's easy access for the sunscreen, and just in case you got sneaky breath and you want to brush your teeth or get on your, you forget about it, and just do it in the middle of your hike or whatever on the canoe. And in case you get stinky along the way. So next I've got my adventure towel. These things are great. They hold up for about 4 or 5 consecutive uses before they start really getting stinky, and they compress really small and they're really light, and they've held up pretty well. I've taken 2 of these things all around Europe with my friend Neil, and they held up great for just 2 guys, and not doing laundry a lot and not getting stinky. So they're pretty good. I highly suggest one of those. They can also double as an extra layer of blanket and wrap it around like your waist when you go to sleep if you find the nights are getting really cold. So next we've got my clothes here, and I've got all of my layers done up to pretty small package. Nothing would really change of what I would bring between a 2-day or week-long. Maybe if it was longer than that, I would start bringing maybe a couple, like an extra pair of underwear and an extra couple pairs of socks just to hold off from cleaning them. But you can do, it's pretty easy to just wash stuff in the bush. You can, throw a little detergent into some camp suds into a large Ziploc bag, throw like 2 pairs of socks in there, a little bit of water, give it some shakes, shake it up, and then you'll just throw them on the line. And let's take this over here, and we'll throw this out, and I'll show you everything I bring. Okay, so this is everything that was in the stuff sack. We'll start off with our bottom layers, base layers. We've got a pair of long johns here, just some hot chilies, nothing too crazy, and then we've got a long sleeve top from Mech. It's the Polar Fleece series, and it's a really good base layer, long sleeve of course, and with a center zip, so you can, if you get a little bit too hot, you can open that up and get some fresh air down your chest. Then we've got some warm ski socks for at night, an extra pair of socks. We've got some Arc'teryx gloves here. They're just not waterproof, but they're quick dry, and just at night in those cold nights on the mountains. And we've got a little Arc'teryx hat. All this stuff I got at the Arc'teryx outlet store, and you can usually get things for about 50% off, and that's the only way I can afford it. But it's a great brand, and it really holds up to the mountain conditions. Next we've got some lightweight pants. They're quick dry. They're from Lululemon. Took these all around Europe, and they were just great. Really nice pant. I don't really like the light hiking shorts because it kind of feels like you're wearing like a windbreaker on your pants. These are actually nice fabric that's still lightweight, and they're a nice pair of pants. Next I've got my Arc'teryx mid layer. This thing has an outer layer that repels water, so you can go out in like the light rain and kind of mist and all those conditions that the mountain can throw at you, and it will repel that. And really solid base layer. Highly suggest any Arc'teryx product. They're really good. Next we've got a Thermarest slip sheet for a pillow. You can either stuff your clothes in here, or I have a Mech down vest, which I can then stuff into the stuff sack, and it makes for a really perfect pillow at night. This thing I got on clearance. This was about $40, and it's it scrunches up pretty small, and it's just a really nice extra poofy layer to throw on and really insulate yourself, especially if you get up in the mountains and say there's snow on the ground and you didn't expect it, and you didn't bring up your heavy sleeping bag. There's almost like a sleeping bag for your chest.